It's what gets us up in the morning. It keeps us thinking at night. It taps into our strengths and inspirations. It's the charge we get when an idea connects. A concept becomes reality. It's the satisfaction we feel when we can financially sustain ourselves and our families. It's impact and momentum. It's trying and failing and finding success. It's the spirit of small business, and it's what we're celebrating today. Pacific Coast Business Times honors the Spirit of Small Business Award winners and acknowledges their drive and inspirations. There are thousands of hardware and home improvement stores in the U.S. and an ever-growing crop of online retailers competing in the do-it-yourself market. So what keeps one local hardware store thriving after 50 years in the business? Friendly and knowledgeable customer service has been a foundation of the Santa Barbara Home Improvement Center since Gary Simpson's father opened the store in the 1960s. The industry has seen tremendous change since Gary Simpson took over the reins in 1982. Big box stores and online competition have closed the doors of more than a few Santa Barbara businesses. But the Santa Barbara Home Improvement Center keeps customers coming back by offering a huge selection and great customer service, two things that never go out of style.
When I started 35 years ago, we had probably 25,000 items in our store, and we carry about 65,000 items now. And it's a lot of different product, and often people will say, geez, you got more selection than Home Depot even, and it is true. They will carry a lot of one thing, but they won't have the diversity and the selection, and that's what we're really sort of renowned for, is our breadth and depth of our selection.
Out of more than 4,400 Ace Hardware stores across the U.S., the Santa Barbara Home Improvement Center boasts the largest volume of annual sales, around 660,000. Why does the store stand out amongst other Ace Hardware stores around the country?
Probably because we're so good. And secondly, probably because there aren't very many stores that have as much real estate as we do. We're almost 3 acres, so it allows us to expand into lumber product categories and garden plants and garden sundries that a lot of the stores can't simply carry. So we're a one-stop shop, everything from lumber and gardening to all your necessities within the house. And yeah, I think that's probably why we're the largest volume purchasing store for Ace Hardware in their whole continental United States.
Gary Simpson also credits his wonderful team of 65 staff members and the store's unwavering commitment to offering everyone, from contractor to home improver, the quality products they need at fair prices.
Well, I've grown just shy of 400% in the 35 years I've been here, so somewhere on the order of about 13% a year on average.
The 50th anniversary of the Santa Barbara Home Improvement Center has brought more than just a celebration of longevity.
This has been a stellar year for us, going into our 50th anniversary and being recognized by Ace as their largest volume dealer. And to be recognized for this award is it's all pretty overwhelming, really.
Accolades aside, thanks to Gary Simpson, Santa Barbara's home improvers can count on never having to look far for friendly, knowledgeable help. Dustin Heon grew up around cars. With parents who owned an auto repair shop, it wasn't long before he got his hands greasy and learned his way around motor vehicles. In fact, his parents not only handed down their love of cars, but also their entrepreneurial spirit. 16 years ago, while Dustin was still a teen, he and his brother Reno launched their business, AccuAir.
Back in 2002, my brother and I were working on a classic truck that we were restoring, and at the time we chose to put air suspension on it, but there was a real lacking of product offerings for what we were doing. So kind of a traditional story of necessity leading to invention, we created a new whole set of technologies and products that improved what we were doing. And as we were building it for our project, we also realized there was probably a pretty big market for it. So we decided to commercialize it, build our first batch of product, and start taking it to trade shows.
With virtually no education in any of the specialized fields necessary to turn their idea into reality, Dustin and Reno rolled up their sleeves and got to work.
We were pretty young when we started. I was still in high school at the time, and my brother had just started at Cal Poly for engineering. But when we actually designed our first product, it was a combination of electronics and firmware development, and then a lot of mechanical engineering.
AccuAir's E-level air suspension system allows car owners to manually raise and lower each corner of their vehicle independently, as well as save specific vertical heights into memory. It's a system that Dustin admits is far more complicated than he and his brother first imagined.
When we first started AccuAir, we completely underestimated what it was going to take, and in every regard. So whether it was when we first had the idea to create the actual first leveling system that we made, we absolutely didn't take into consideration how truly challenging it was going to be. And the products that we sell today are 100 times more complex than that first thing we set out to do originally. But that's very similar to the rest of the challenges in business. You know, if we had probably known how challenging things were going to be, we wouldn't have done it. But it was that naiveness and the excitement about just taking each next step that really allowed us to proceed.
Dustin and Reno now employ 50 people at AccuAir. The brothers' dedication to zero compromise is a virtue the entire company shares.
Owning a business with my brother is really interesting and unique. Our strengths and the way we balance each other is like no other. Honestly, I don't know that I could be in business with a partner if it weren't family and wasn't somebody that I could trust as much as my brother.
While most of AccuAir's products are for the aftermarket, Dustin and Reno are working toward winning engineering and supply contracts with car manufacturers.
The interesting growth for AccuAir is getting into the new car air suspension supply market. So this is an area we've been working on for a long time, and our technology is now developed to the point that we can actually tackle this, and we have some customers in a position to start supplying now.
For their perseverance through the many technical and business-related challenges, Dustin credits the work ethic he and Reno learned as children.
I think for my brother and I growing up, we had parents that had a small business in the town we were raised, so we spent a lot of our time in their automotive repair shop after school or during the summers, and sitting idle wasn't very much fun. So learning to work with our hands and putting in hard work was a set of skills that we learned and a value that we learned at a young age. And that really has driven us, because at the end of the day, we often just choose to go put in the hours, work hard, and solve the problem.
Since 1990, GBL Systems has been a leading provider of software development and systems engineering solutions to the United States Armed Forces. GBL's mission is to provide innovative, efficient, and cost-effective systems and software to the Department of Defense and other customers. GBL CEO and founder James Buscemi takes pride in helping prepare and equip our military.
I love my job. We do advanced technologies for the Department of Defense, so we truly do make a difference in giving our warfighter the best capabilities that he could have.
A big advancement GBL has been working on is called the Proximal Web, an application that allows content to find users rather than users having to search for content. The technology was debuted at the Coastal Trident program in May, with demonstrations showing how it might assist first responders. Buscemi hopes to introduce proximity technologies to the Navy.
We think that our growth area will be in taking this proximal web technology and our simulation technologies, marrying them together, and then stimulating students and college people around the country.
GBL Systems creates cutting-edge technologies to train and educate students and grow engineers for the Department of Defense.
And so we take an approach of building immersive learning similar to the way Universal makes people want to take on rides. So we actually immerse the kids into a very complex situation, and they have to be collaborative, and so it tends to pull all the students together, and the stronger kids pull the weaker ones up, and together they have to solve a problem.
Being successful in a highly technical and specialized field requires a commitment to tracking difficult projects with efficiency and precision.
We usually take on some of the most challenging problems in electronic warfare. We do a lot of work in cognitive electronic warfare, in aviation systems. And so I think we're very fast in our development cycle. So I think that makes us stand out relative to our competitors. And we have a very good technology team that we've developed over the last 10 years.
From its 3 original founders, GBL has grown to employ around 50 engineers.
Very good technical people, I think, constantly need to have work that pushes them to the edge. And if you let them stagnate, then they'll tend to want to leave your organization. So in general, I think we've done a good job of constantly shifting people and stimulating them in a way that they want to work for the company. We attract a lot of the best talent because of that capability, and also the customers tend to give us work, more complex work, because we're very successful in solving some of the more difficult problems that we're given.
From imagination to reality, GBL is proof that if you can dream it, you can build it.
I love challenges, and so each day I try to pivot the company and make sure that everybody's challenged. We want to make a difference, and that, to me, that's what drives me.
For Beatrice and Vanessa Vasquez, the path to becoming successful business owners began with the simple yet astute realization that a need in local agribusiness was not being adequately filled. Beatrice's husband and Vanessa's father, Elias Vasquez, had been part of the farming industry for over 3 decades when he noticed a recurrent challenge for local agribusinesses: a shortage of wooden pallets for transporting goods. In 1993, Elias and Beatrice started the Oxnard Pallet Company to meet that need.
That's our primary focus, is with the agriculture community. As things have changed, there is a need for food grade pallets where this pallet needs to be really clean. So there's a little bit different process that sometimes has to happen, where you have to make sure, can that used be, we don't know exactly where it's been, can it be cleaned up and made for them, or do they need a little bit newer material that's, so that's the sort of thing, we come across.
Though it's an easily overlooked part of the supply chain in our economy, the pallet market is expected to reach 1.3 billion units this year. What makes a simple wooden pallet such an enduring and important part of our economy?
It's able to handle the type of weight that it needs to, without breaking, without causing injury, keeping products safe to get where they need to be. I think that the other part of it is just that it's a lot more reasonable for companies versus other type of materials that can get more costly.
What else could move products as well as a pallet would, being that it has those grooves for the forklift and just to move a lot of product, store product in high places.
The Oxnard Pallet Company produces, refurbishes, and recycles wooden pallets. They pride themselves on not only providing a much-needed resource, but also helping keep old and damaged pallets from winding up in our landfills. Even current trends and styles are helping give old pallets new life.
One of the things that I love seeing is, Pinterest or online. There's so many more furniture, design pieces, accent walls made, and they're all out of reclaimed wood, which it's very easy to get that from a wooden pallet.
A day at the Oxnard Pallet Company bears witness the full cycle of the pallet, from birth to delivery back.
It's just like a whirlwind that goes around us. Like, we're in the office and we see new pallets or pallets being brought in to be sold to us, which we check them and they buy it. Then there's the lumber that's being ordered for the brand new pallets. And then there's, if you go in the back, it's a whole other story. You have people pulling things apart. You need earplugs. It's very loud with all the,
loud.
But it's crazy because everybody has their little part in this wheel. It's
Hard work, long hours, and dedication have kept the Oxnard Pallet Company successful for over 2 decades. But it all started with a leap of faith.
we took a chance and it worked out very well for us, and we've been able to help the community. We have, all our employees live in the community. Most have been with us over 15 years, which I think is something to be said, that, we have had a very good team working.
From humble beginnings to successful business entrepreneurs, the Vasquez family has created a company that has not only been successful itself, but has helped other local businesses remain competitive by supplying them with much-needed materials to transport their products to their customers.
I also want to make sure to thank my husband for being my co-partner in this business. He couldn't be right at this particular part, but he is just such a key player in helping make the operation happen. It was really cool to be a part of something I never would have envisioned doing when I was 16 years old in high school, dreaming, what am I going to do in the future? And here we are, and it's been awesome. It's been a wonderful journey.
The name Ablets has represented a commitment to excellence and quality laundering in Santa Barbara for over 6 decades. In fact, Sasha Ablett can point back to over 100 years of her family being in the laundry business, beginning with her great-grandfather. Sasha has fond memories of working for her father at Ablett's back when she was a teen.
My father is such a charming man. He's always been so charming, and he's always ingratiated himself into the community. People just loved him. He would spend 10 hours a day up talking with customers. And because of his gregarious nature, we had the opportunity to be interviewed. So at the age of 15, the photographers came in, they interviewed all the employees, and we still to this day have a plaque in the kitchen.
Despite growing up in the dry cleaning trade, Sasha Ablett decided to strike out on her own after high school.
I studied aerospace engineering at UCLA, so technically I can be considered a rocket scientist.
After earning her bachelor's, Sasha went on to receive a master's in global management. She then traveled the world as an international businesswoman. But in 2003, the time was right for both Sasha and her father to let Ablett's meet the next generation of its leadership.
My father called me in his infinite wisdom and told me, Sasha, I am looking at outside investors for the business. I need to pursue my passion for sailing. I'm moving on to my next life, and I just wanted you to be the first to know. So I immediately realized that I wanted to own my own business.
Sasha brought her concern for the environment to the business. One of her priorities as the new owner was adopting eco-friendly practices throughout the shop.
The year I came back, I did install a new cleaning technology called Green Earth Cleaning, which was not the PERC that is the traditional dry cleaner solvent that most people think poorly of, and it is not petroleum, which is obviously a petroleum product. Today we still use some Green Earth, and we also use another solvent called K4, which is a plant-based derivative. But it's not just the solvent, it's everything you do. You have to maintain your equipment properly, and we also recycle all of the dry cleaners' plastic. To me, the most dangerous thing, or the most environmentally unfriendly thing that cleaners do, is put plastic bags over every single piece of clothing. It took me about, over 5 years, but I was finally able to find someone that would recycle the plastic for me. So we actually have a big baler in our back parking lot where we collect all of this plastic, put it together, and send it off to this company where they make decks.
With Sasha at the helm, Ablett's has also moved in a more techno-savvy direction.
Ablett's has created a new iPhone app that you can just download. You enter your address, and it will tell you when we drive by your house, and you can schedule a pickup with just the touch, a single touch.
Ablett's also employs technology-wise methods to both track garments that come into the shop and ease the customer billing and payment process. The combination of cutting-edge technology and eco-friendly methods with old-fashioned concierge service sets Ablett's fine cleaners and launderers apart from its competitors. Sasha credits the company's 40 employees, some of whom have been with the business for over 20 years, for Ablett's reputation as the premier dry cleaner in Santa Barbara.
I am doing my best to continue that legacy. I think time will tell. I don't know if I'm really there yet, but time will tell how it all plays out.
Chances are you've seen a few of the Tilquist family creations without even realizing it. For over a decade, Don Tilquist, his son Brian, and daughter Lisa have embroidered logos onto apparel and gear for everyone from fire departments to big businesses. Their work helps sports teams and schools show their pride.
Letterman jackets, we do 48 high schools. When the kids pick them up, their eyes light up, they're wearing their, and that's, you get to see the enjoyment of what you've done on someone who may or may not have gotten it anyway. So, that's fun.
The family didn't come upon the embroidery business by chance. Don embroidered as a hobby for many years, and Lisa spent her college years working at an embroidery shop where she came to know the business well. The family-like environment at Coastal Embroidery extends beyond the Tilquist clan working together.
We've always thought employees are family. Something we've always looked for in an employee was that a lot of our employees come from family-owned businesses,
parents,
and it's something that we've always looked for, and so they understand the value of family, and that's what we're all about.
Coastal Embroidery's family-style approach, professional-looking showroom, and willingness to serve customers big and small are just a few of the things that set them apart from competitors. But what's the key?
Personal service and quality.
Yeah.
I mean, you get neither of those on the internet.
And people will always leave for price, but they come right back for quality.
The Tilquists credit their broad spectrum of clientele for the consistent growth of Coastal Embroidery.
When we started going to industry events, they all started saying, you got to find your niche in the industry. And we said, niche? That just sounds too, like
Restricted.
Restricted, yeah. And basically, we never wanted to have any more than 1% of our business be a major factor. We knew a lot of businesses who went out of business back in the 2008-2009 timeframe that had they had 3 or 4 major customers. You lose one of those, and that's a third or a quarter of your business. So we are proud that we don't have any one of our customers more than 1.5% of our business.
This year, the company has taken on a new challenge by expanding into the trophy and sign businesses.
Trophy is all about recognition, giving somebody an award for something great that they did. So seeing somebody pick it up, knowing they're going to give that to somebody else, it has that same feeling.
In May, Coastal Embroidery bought the trophy engraving business Trophies Etc., as well as purchasing and rebranding a sign printing business.
The future holds a lot of learning.
It's here. We've started.
Yeah, we're moving the trophy shop to directly across the street from the embroidery store, so that we can easily refer and trade back and forth, because it all goes hand in hand. It's just a new medium of what we're doing. Yeah. So we'll take the same great quality and customer base we've had with the embroidery, put it into the trophy shop and the sign shop, and grow from there. I mean, it's a learning experience, but that's what you want every day anyway, is to learn something new.
People are easily impressed by large numbers, but for John Deshawn, sometimes the smallest ones are the most important. Action Pack Scales and Automation has made a name for itself in an industry in which even 1/10 of a milligram can make a big difference.
Action Pack designs and creates custom automation systems. It's called Mechatronics, and Mechatronics, the short definition is mechanical and electronics combined. So basically you have automation that is mechanical in nature, but governed by a microprocessor so that it has a brain.
Action Pack systems weigh and package everything from fruits and vegetables to pharmaceuticals and coffee. Every system is custom built to the customer's specific need so that bulk materials can be weighed, transported through a mechanized assembly line, and come out packaged and ready for market.
I would say that whatever somebody brings to us, we figure out a way to do it.
The burgeoning legalized marijuana industry in states like Colorado and Oregon has opened another market for Action Pack's equipment. Cannabis growers and retailers rely on precise weighing and packaging systems to ensure compliance with government regulations.
Also, having had experience with doing the tenth of a milligram systems we do for pharmaceuticals and assaying, the two kind of dovetailed.
With California set to begin issuing permits for marijuana cultivation and sales, Deshawn anticipates his cannabis equipment sales to flourish. John Deshawn has spent the last 40 years doing exactly what his business card claims. He makes it work. This sets Action Pack apart from its competitors.
Many of them will sell equipment that might work and might not, and then in the terms and conditions, you'll find a phrase that says, we hope it works, but if it doesn't, don't call us. But in our terms and conditions, we say, if we promise to make it work, we will make it work.
That ethic has helped Action Pack's scales and automation grow annual revenues between $3 and $5 million. Action Pack relies on 18 expert employees, including engineers, software programmers, and fabrication specialists. Deshawn believes teamwork is the key ingredient to Action Pack's success. Not only do company members work in close proximity with one another on projects, clients also become part of the process.
Everything we do is a group effort. We like to say that our style is Rayleigh, meaning that we get in a room and then we yell at each other until somebody comes up with the correct answer.
For John Deshawn and Action Pack, receiving an award is an unexpected pleasure.
I think that my employees in particular are going to be gratified that somebody has recognized that we exist and that we're doing interesting things, which is really all that you can ask for. Money is nice, money is good. We're in a for-profit business, but mainly we just like to build cool things, and we like people to recognize that we're doing it.
Most of us panic if we spill something on our laptop or drop our smartphone. Our favorite digital technology is often one of the most fragile things we own. But at Neurologic Systems, Judy and Steve Sitko create digital displays and monitors that are literally ready for war.
We design and manufacture highly specialized computer LCD displays for the military, for military applications. Our LCDs, like the ones sitting on your desk, but they're much more rugged and they have to meet military requirements for shock, vibration, that sort of thing. So they're flying in airplanes, they're on submarines, they're in ships, they're in helicopters, they're in Humvees and MRAPs. They're used to missile defense systems. We've pretty much touched upon all the areas where a video display could be used in a military application.
For 25 years, Steve and Judy have been making mounts and displays that serve alongside our military. Their products are trusted by the United States Department of Defense to withstand some of the harshest, most traumatic environments on Earth. They began customizing digital displays for industrial environments and eventually found their niche supplying specialized equipment for the United States military.
It's amazing how people found us. We were lucky and we won a very important contract with Northrop Grumman. It has big visibility in the military world.
And in the world of highly specialized LCD displays, Neurologic's fairly small staff of 25 has proved an advantage. The family atmosphere makes for easy communication from designers to engineers to assembly people, allowing the company to fine-tune their products to fit their customers' specific needs, something that would simply be impossible for larger consumer-oriented tech companies.
We're probably the smallest company in the United States, or if not the world, that does what we do. So, at the level that we're doing it. Somebody called us a mom and pop defense contractor. I don't remember who it was, but that's us.
Neurologic Systems now takes up 3 times the space it once required, and sales are expected to reach $10 million annually within the next 2 years.
But it does feel like a family. We've been together for a long time with most of our employees, and they're very well trained. And I think that's why Neurologic embodies the spirit of Small Business Award. We are like an old-fashioned, family-grown company where every single person cares about the quality of their work. They know what they have to do. They take pride in what they do. It's not just a job.
Halter Ranch, the award-winning vineyard and winery set in the heart of Paso Robles, is well known for its world-class estate-grown wines. But the high standards the ranch maintains exceed far beyond the impeccable wines it produces. Halter Ranch employs state-of-the-art, sustainable, environmentally friendly practices on its land and in its winery. The history of Halter Ranch dates back to the 1880s, but it wasn't until 1996 that grapevines were introduced to the ranch. With the new millennium, the ranch welcomed a new owner, billionaire and philanthropist Hans-Jörg Wyss. Winemaker Kevin Sass notes that Wyss brought his passion for environmental protection with him to Halter Ranch.
He implemented the vineyard and he purchased it in 2000. We were the first winery and vineyard to be a pilot program for the SIP Sustainability and Practice, so the SIP program. And every decision is made based upon the fact that the program is going to be here and the ranch is going to be here for the next 100 years, not the next 5. So whatever decisions we make, we always say, is this the best decision for the long term of the ranch?
The ranch harvests rainwater and retrieves more than 100% of the water used in the winemaking process. The ranch also honors local biodiversity, even while cultivating successful harvests.
So Halter Ranch is located on the west side of Paso Robles, so kind of in the mountain range where Hearst Castle is. So kind of on the other side of Hearst Castle, not on the ocean side, but other side of the San Lucia mountain range. And the ranch is 2,058 acres. So we own just over 2,000 acres, 281 planted to grapes, but we also have walnuts, we lease to cattle, we have olives. And then the rest of the property is basically what we call oak woodlands. And Hans-Jörg is a big believer in keeping the land the way it was. One of the things that he was really adamant, he started with basically 900 acres that he purchased in 2000, has basically since then purchased another 1,100 with the intent of trying to make sure that the west side of Paso Robles doesn't look like Napa.
Environmental practices aside, Sass says that a big part of the vineyard's successful dynamic is owed to the extension of its sustainable practices into human resources.
Sustainability is not just about what goes into the ground or what you keep out of the ground, but obviously it has to do with maintaining business, how you treat your employees. So all of our vineyard guys are treated the same way, just as the winery employees or the admin or the sales and marketing people. So people who have been there for extended periods of time, whether they work for us specifically or through a labor contractor, get the same benefits from a vacation standpoint. They get raises the same way we do. They get holidays off, they get sick pay. So we kind of treat everybody the same there. It's really important that we keep our team for an extended period of time.
The care and respect Sass and his team show the land and their wine can be felt by casual visitors and aficionados alike.
I think that the winemaking team in general is a group of people, both our general manager, assistant winemaker, our vineyard manager, all the people who are really involved in the winemaking process, really kind of are passionate about wine, and we want to do something very different from what everybody else does. And for us, that style is making wines that are really, really approachable early on, but still have a lot of character and texture to them. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of achieving that right now.
This year, Halter Ranch was named Winery of the Year at the Central Coast Wine Competition, and Sunset Magazine's Travel Awards named the ranch the best vineyard experience. But Sass says the unsung heroes of the winemaking process are the staff who work in the fields.
I mean, those guys don't get a lot of recognition for what they do, and they're the ones who have to implement the extra tractor passes, the hand hoeing, all the really, really difficult things in 95-degree weather, to get it done. And every time we get an award, we barbecue for them and we do all that, but they just they don't get the recognition that the winemakers or the vineyard managers or the general manager or Hans-Jörg gets. So this is for them.